Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to our weekly BDP webinar. Tonight we have our roundtable, and we'll have George Ruiz and Tracy Larson as our panelists joining us, and also Adrian Carbonell will be with us shortly. And we want to welcome you all to this weekly webinar and this once a month event where you can ask any questions that you'd like about Isogenics, about the business mostly. And the way that you ask the questions is you basically just go to your GoToWebinar control panel, which you should see at the top right of your screen, and just enter a question into the questions area, and it works just like a chat box. And as a matter of fact, we don't have any questions as of yet. So guys, this is your chance. If you have any questions for George or for Tracy or for Adrian or for myself, just take advantage of that and enter that. So George, if you want to just give a quick announcement or so, please feel free.
Really quick, I'm going to be saying that remember next Monday now, we have a call only for leaders, but I'm going to be sending the link for people that want to be in that call at 11 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, where they are going to make the big announcement this coming Monday, the 22nd. Then the webinar that night, we are going to be talking about strategies to use it. It's why I'm going to be recording, and I'm going to go through that as many times as I can to make sure that I can say we can have the best strategies to take advantage of those new announcements. But anyway, it's really exciting. We are living in a really exciting time because, we have all these new bonuses that we started last year. We have the new promotions, like if you get 5 people in Autoship in a month, you get a free Essentials with Product B. And as a matter of fact, we have a new distributor. Her name is Jody. She qualified already for 2 because she has signed up 11 people in 2 weeks. And she was so excited. She just came into Isogenics about 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. But in her first 2 weeks, she signed up 11 people on Autoship, and that's why she qualified for 2 Essentials with Product B. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm just excited. But anyway, and we are ready for the question tonight. And guys, remember, right now is the best time to go into action because this month and next month are the strongest months, some of the strongest months in network marketing. And you can prove me right, and let me tell you how. Make sure you have every day 2, 3, or 4 people watching your videos. This is really powerful. Simple as that.
Oh, great. And Tracy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. So any announcements you want to make on your end?
Well, I can just tell you, one of the things I've noticed just in the recently is just the excitement, the enthusiasm is really what builds teams quick. And so you've got to get that excitement in yourself and in your team. And that's why Isogenics are putting all those bonuses and all these things into the pipeline, because you can really get excited. Just get excited about those bonuses, get your people excited about it, and they'll just fly. And if you haven't got that excitement, it's one at a time, slow build. So get enthused, get excited about what's going on. We've got a company right now with a front end, back end, and a product line that is unmatched anywhere in the marketplace. All the pieces are here.
Yeah, and
by the way, Tracy, it's exciting because Jody is part of your organization. It's your new leg that's growing really quick.
Yes.
Personally sponsor 11 people. Wow.
Yeah, and her sponsor, Bruce, he told me in the first month his goal was to put in 50 people in his first month. I think in his first month he ended up with about 48 people.
Wow, he missed just by 2. Oh gosh. It's actually exciting. And by the way, both Jody and Bruce had great stories that one day we are going to have them in the call telling their story and why those are amazing stories to follow.
Well, one of the stories I'll share really quick with you, because This is something a lot of people really aren't catching on to yet. And what Bruce is telling people is, look, this is a company that's going to change the world as we know it with a little product called Product B. It's going to totally change everything. And he says, I want to be a part of that company that changes the world. And when the world catches on to what Isogenics has in Product B, this company is going to be like a rocket ship. He says, I want the biggest team possible when people start to find out about Product B. That's what's driving him right now, and that's what should be driving all of us. Nobody has Product B.
That's right.
For Isogenics.
And some of you probably already watched the newscast that came from Florida, where a medical doctor that has not been paid by Isogenics or anything like that documented 400 cases of people using Product B with amazing results. I mean, make sure you look for Channel 6, Orlando, Florida, or if you happen to be in the 90 days, you're going to see the video there. But anyway, guys, that's the word is starting to go out. And one day, and that day is not too far away, everybody's going to want to jump into the bandwagon.
Definitely. And while I just give everybody a reminder to just enter their questions into the questions area on your GoToWebinar control panel at the top right of the screen. We already have a couple of questions in there. I just wanted to add one thing that, we definitely have some incredible products, and I myself, feel very fortunate to be the recipient of how well these products work. This week I actually was able to, I used to be at the size 46 pants, and this week I finally was able to get into size 34s. So, the products absolutely are fantastic. I've lost over 110 pounds now, on the products, and it definitely is incredible. And not only that, is what it has done, from the financial point of view. That's really amazing. And today we reached a milestone, by the way, George, and I don't know, Tracy, if you took a look. But we crossed the point where we have more than 600 people registered for our weekly BDP webinar, which is quite significant. So congratulations to all of you, and for letting your team members know, and so on. And why don't we get started here with the questions now? And
first question. I'm ready. I'm ready okay. Here at the home plate. Go ahead.
Okay, and I didn't mention, but there was actually $100 prize for that first question, and it obviously, I decided to ask it myself. Well, no, actually, the first question is, I've been sponsoring people with the 9-day program, and hold on one second. Okay. And everybody else has been entering with the 9-day program. What am I doing wrong? I guess they just aren't sponsoring people with the President's Pack. So George, wanna?
Okay. Very quick. It's a mindset. It is a mindset. I had the feeling that you are not talking about the bigger packages first, like the business pack and the president pack. And if you are quitting to quit quick. I tell you one thing: in every company, the company we were before, for example, people have to come with more than $500. If not, they were not coming into the business unless they were using only the products. And it's a mindset. Imagine. What I would do is to set up the goal of imagine that the 9 days doesn't exist. Forget about the 9 days. I have not sold a 9 days, I think probably close to 5 years already. And the reason is because I know that the attrition ratio is very big, and you're going to notice that people order in the 9 days and they never order again. And because they have products only for 9 days. They say that it takes 30 days to get to get a habit, and they are using the product only for 9 days. There's no way that they can get the habit. Some people say 21 days, But either way, it's not enough time, 9 days. But I think it's the mindset, and the mindset is first of all, we have some exercises. If you happen to be in the 90 days, we have some exercises where you can actually work on yourself. That every time you present somebody, you have in your mind the strong packages. You are going to be doing affirmations and declarations about what you are looking, what you want to approach people with. For example, I choose to approach people with a business package or better right now. I commit to approach people with a business package or better right now. I deserve to approach people with a business package or better right now. I accept to approach people with a business package or better right now. I am ready to approach people with a business package right now. Now, when you repeat all those things in your mind, sounds weird, but I tell you, when you do those things, you are preparing yourself for the day. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to come with a business package, but what you are setting up is a mindset that's way bigger, that you are showing the really the big picture for the person. And the big picture is in both ways, not only the product, the business, but also the product. I think is not really for the best benefit for a person to get the 9 days, because again, they are going to have temporary results. They sound really good, but if they never order again, then one day they're going to say, oh, that product didn't work. I gained all my way back. Of course, you use it only for 11 days, but all, because actually it's 11 days that you have. I think it's so important, the mindset. And usually also it's because we are afraid that people think that it's too expensive. If really we look at the value, what the people are saving in money, I mean, every day, every meal, remember, they are replacing, in the case of the 30 days, they are replacing at least 2 meals a day. 2 meals a day multiplied by 30 days, that's 60 meals. Multiplied by $5, that's $300. The product, really, he or she is not spending more money. Think about that. But even if it's $3, it will be $180. It's like selling the package for, imagine, $260 minus $180. It's like if it's paying only $80, cheaper than the 9 days. Think about that. Think about the value that the people are getting on the President Pack also and the Business Pack. That's the most important part. I know, Tracy, you were going to say something, I think.
Well, what you're saying is exactly goes along with what I'm saying. And I think the biggest problem that most people have is a belief. And if you understand the value in the package and understand what they're worth, but not only that, but have a total belief in the products and your business, then you can see the value for someone to spend $500 to get into this business, or $1,000. If you don't have a belief that this product's worth it, then you're going to your friends and you're saying, well, that's pretty expensive. I know that, why don't we just get you with 100 points? Well, that means that you don't believe in the product enough to say, hey, you buy this 500-point package, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your health. And if you build your business with this package, you're going to go to the moon with this business. And that's what George is saying. It's mindset, it's belief. It's belief in your product, it's belief in this industry, and it's a belief in the business. And it's like I said a few minutes ago, with a company that's got our management team, our product line, and our pay plan, you can look the country over. I would challenge anybody to find any company that even comes close to Isogenics right now. It's not out there. When people are paying $1,500, $2,500, up to $20,000 to sign up into some of these network marketing companies. And I just told you, you're in the best, bar none, and people are selling it for $100, $150. You cannot get into any business that will make this kind of money for $150. So if they're paying $500, it's like a drop in the bucket to what they'd have to spend to get into any kind of a business with this kind of potential. And I know, Alex, you've been in a lot of traditional businesses. If you was going to get into a business that would pay you what you've already earned in Isogenics, how much would you have to invest to get into that business?
Actually, I don't even think that I could get into a traditional business that pays as much as as much as Isogenics, because even if you were to spend several $100,000 for a franchise or whatever, you'd be extremely lucky to get $1 million or $2 million or $3 million in sales your first year. And in Isogenics, you definitely can do that. But I'd like to also mention that we used to only have the 9-day program at the beginning. But what we used to do is there used to be a 3 9-day pack, which is actually what got the business going. And if you follow the history of Isogenics and so on, the real growth started when the 30-day program was introduced, and then it became substantially more when the President's Pack became available. And one more thing I do want to mention is, when people are looking for a business, you tell them, $100 or $200 to get started, and they definitely don't take you seriously. I used to run in the early days when I started network marketing, dabbling in network marketing. I didn't have a sponsor that actually gave me good advice, and I figured, well, what I'll do is I'll just run some ads in the paper. And this was before George was my sponsor. So I ran these ads in the paper, and I figured, well, let me run it, with a real cheap package that we have, and the ad read something like, start your own business, $200 needed. And I got a few responses. Then I ran it with another package that there was, and start your own business with $500, and I got double the responses from the first ad. And finally, I ran another ad. That prompted me to just figure, okay, what if I put start your own business with $1,200? And I got 5 times more response leads, from that bigger ad. So definitely, one very important thing is, if you have entered with recently with the 9-day program, if people ask you, well, what did you start with? You have to let them know, well, it was a 9-day. The good thing is that you have 60 days to upgrade to the President's Pack, and the President's Pack definitely has the best value. And if you've started already using the products, you know the value of these products. So, I definitely, the way that I personally do it now is I give people 3 options, and I tell them, okay, if you want to be to do the business, we have our best option, which is the business pack, and our second best option is the President's Pack. And if you want to use the product, then choose one of the 30-day packs or the equivalent to that. So, but business definitely, build the value, because what we have here is definitely incredible. We have people that within a year or just over a year have earned $1 million almost. And, that's unheard of anywhere. Even if you open a franchise in a traditional business or whatever, to get to earn $1 million in that first year is almost unheard of.
By the way, something that I wanted to point out, even if you are more than 60 days, you still can buy the President Pack. And in case you are more, the only difference that at this point, when you are more than 60 days, the upline doesn't receive the $80, but you can buy the President Pack after the first 60 days. This is something that they introduced just recently for people that want to find the 30 days, and also people that came with the 9 days, that they say they want to tell people, hey, I have the President Pack. Anyway, I wanted just to point out.
Thanks to clarify that. Good. We have a couple of new questions, and for those of you that are just joining us, just remember to enter your questions in the GoToWebinar control panel at the top right of your screen in the questions area. And here's another question, and it reads, I'm new to Isogenics, and I was wondering, what is the best way to get prospects?
Who wants to answer? I can answer that.
You answer, George.
Okay. First, I'm going to tell you a fast tip. Make sure you go to Massive Action and Making Your List webinar that we have last week. Now, the best way is starting with the people that you know. And you may be saying, whoa, what do you mean? I have to talk to my friends and family. Okay. For those of you, and I'm sure you're one of them, that believe that these products have value and the business has value, I don't see the reason why you have to skip your family and look for somebody else. It's like finding a gold mine and placing an ad in the newspaper looking for prospects and not sharing with your family and friends. And that's what you're doing. But now, how do you prospect them? Make sure you do it with your upline. Follow the scripts that we have on those webinars, Massive Action, and also the one last week about never running out of people, because you will never run out of people. But the fastest one are the people that you have in your circle of influence, relatives, friends, and family. However, make sure you follow the scripts. You're not going to say, hey, just watch this. No, one of the scripts that we have is the third-party approach. It's something, if it's somebody that you really respect because he's a business person or a person with a great circle of influence, you say something like, let's suppose that you're talking to Mike. Mike, I really respect your opinion, and I'm starting a business, and I'm going to start a strong campaign, but I would love your opinion before I start it. I'm going to send you a video that I'm going to be using to see what you think about that video. As simple as that. And that's the third-party approach. But plus, we have so many other approaches. Also, we have the dreams approach that you can do with everybody. If time and money were not a problem and you have all the time to enjoy it, what would you do? We have that also in the Massive Action webinar. But anyway, but again, make a list of everybody you know. Also, if you think that you don't have enough people and you happen to be in Facebook, look at how many friends you have in Facebook. And again, don't prejudge anybody, because most of the time it's not the people that you know, it's the people that they know. And we talk about the 6 degrees of separation in, I think it was last webinar. Within few degrees, within 3 or 4 generations, you can probably contact the biggest networkers in the planet. Again, these are people that you don't know. You never will run out of leads if you follow what is in that webinar on Monday, past Monday, and also on the different things that we are adding on the 90 days calls, and some videos that are going to be out posted in some soon, talking about specifics. But again, that webinar last week, I think, was an eye-opener, or the webinar that we have 2 weeks ago that's called Massive Action.
I want to point out that the way that you get those webinars that George is mentioning is you just go to the howtogetgoing.com website and just go under webinars and look for, we have all of them listed in there. So, but it's the last 2 that we've done. Tracy, do you want to?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, on the screen you have the what is it, content, present, and follow up. If you go down, you're going to see webinar unlimited flow of names. That's the one that we did last week. You can click there and then you watch that webinar.
Yeah, let me actually make this larger here so that people can see. Tracy, do you want to add something to?
Well, the only thing that I would add is just referrals. Some of the biggest people in isogenics came as a referral. So whenever you talk to somebody and you send them to a presentation, regardless of whether they like it or whether they don't, always ask the question, who do you know that's into network marketing? Who do you know that could use better help? Who do you know that needs more money? I know I can tell this story on George, but when George started, he made a list of people, of names, and he started calling them. And then he took referrals, built his business. He's never got to the end of his list.
Yeah. Yep. This was a list of close to 200 people. That's true. And then I sponsored several people from my list, because I did what my upline told me, to write down the names of the best people, not the one that you want to approach because you are not scared of them, the best people. And of course, I did 3-way calls. By the way, remember, 3-way calls are powerful. And we sponsored a few of them, and then we started getting referrals, and suddenly I was getting so many names that I never went through the whole list. Plus, I applied some of the techniques that you learn in that unlimited flow of names. Actually, most of the techniques, except the newest one, like at the time we didn't have Facebook or anything like that.
Yeah, and actually one of the things that I want to add, and I'll just give my own personal story. And I'm one of these people that really doesn't like to approach, people. I don't like talking to people and so on. But one of the things that happened is actually when I started using my products, I lost quite a few pounds. I lost 22 pounds my first month. And when people would see me, people that haven't seen me for a little while, they would start asking, "What are you doing?" And I really didn't know exactly what to say, but I figured, well, you know what, I'm going to get me somebody that knows what to say. And there was this lady that used to always try to sell me weight loss products from another company, a friend of Marlena, my wife, and I just gave her one of our products, the 9-day program, actually, for her to use. She had fantastic results, and she said, I have never seen something that works that well. And from that day on, anytime that somebody would ask me about this, I would say, hey, go talk to Maribel. She has this fantastic product. And that way, part of one of my legs is how that started to actually grow. But I do want to also mention that the interesting thing is, and George, I don't know if you're better, if you have a better way of telling Jimmy's story of how when he got started, he was asking that same question that Tracy was saying. Who do you know that's in network marketing? Who do you know that needs to do a lot of there's different ways of asking the question. And when Jimmy actually had I believe it was a doctor that had him talk to his patients, and one of the patients actually said, oh yeah, I know somebody that's in network marketing. So I don't know if you want to tell that story or...
Yeah, well, basically, and then he referred this guy that became one of his top leaders. And actually, we are talking about in isogenics. If you are familiar with the group, what's called
RGG.
RGG, correct. The RGG group. The RGG group came from a referral, and right now the RGG group moves about $2 million per month in products, and that was a referral to Jimmy. Jimmy didn't know the person, was referred by a woman to him. And that's what I say. Referrals are so powerful, and I agree with Alex. And let me tell you something really quick, and something that many people forget. And although this is not part of the webinar, but as soon as you join network marketing, you have almost $5,000 in deductions in taxes per year. Now, if you multiply that for 20 years, that's over $100,000. It's like putting an extra $100,000 a year. A year in a 20-year period of time. Well, imagine approaching your friends and say, I found a way where just by signing up, you can have a 5,000 deductions from your taxes. Plus, on top of that, you can make an extra, $1,000 a month. And in 20 years, there could be, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you have extra in the pocket. Guys, it's why you have to share with your friends and family. By the way, for those of you that are connected to the 90 days, you're going to hear more about that strategy.
Yeah, anyway. and George, I do want to point something out. And number one, of course, we don't give any tax advice. You should talk to your tax person for this. But I'm one of these procrastinators. My calendar is a one-page calendar that the month is called Mañana, and obviously, today was. I hate to talk about this, but my taxes, I always do the extension, and October 15th is the last day of the extension. And Saturday I was over at my accountant, which, by the way, has seen both the income and the weight loss. And one of the things actually I found out is I purchased a small computer during 2011, and he said, hey, you could have gotten a much the more expensive model, and you still would have been able to deduct it as part of your business. So I definitely know that those tax benefits in my case happen to apply, and you should definitely check with your tax professional. Take advantage of that. Okay.
Yeah, and we are going to be sending links to people that are experts in network marketing. You're going to see, as soon as you hear the webinars or the seminars, and you say, "Whoa, that means that as soon as I sign up, I make $5,000." Yep, deduction. And again, they are the ones that are going to tell you how that happened. These are been serving the network marketing industry for about 15 or 20 years, something like that. But anyway, let's go to another
Yeah.
question because this,
We have a question here and says, can you explain what is needed to know when it comes to winning over network marketers?
well, it depends. If you are talking to a person that's really successful, it is not easy because they are not going to listen to you. It's why it's so important to follow the scripts that we have also again on howtogetgoing.com. When you go to the scripts that we have there, there's a script for networkers, and you just ask questions. How are you doing? How long you been doing network marketing? Are you full time or part time? Have you done another company before? Why you are not doing it full time? You see, you are asking questions. What you don't like about what you are doing now, and then they are going to tell you. And then basically the next question is, if I can show you a business or an opportunity that doesn't have those problems, will you be open to see more? That's it. Just follow the script. Now, big hitters, people that are making a lot of money, it's almost impossible. It's mostly a waste of time unless they are a friend of yours. And even then, they are a waste of time. The best people to approach, people that at one point they make money, or they are in the middle of making money, or they are dissatisfied, or they are with a company that's in trouble. Those are the best networkers because they are looking for something else, or they are not totally happy. And it's why the script is so powerful, because it's asking them, one of the questions is what you don't like about what you're doing now, why you are not full time. And they're going to tell you, because what if I can show you an opportunity, or you can discover an opportunity that doesn't have those problems? Would you be open? If the person say yes, great. If the person say no, forget about that person. We have in Facebook 1 billion people to contact, and of those, there are who knows a few millions that are in network marketing.
How about if I say this, George? Michael Clausen.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
This guy has credibility with every major networker because he's published magazines. He's been an authority on network marketing, and he signed up in Isogenics.
Yes.
And when they say why, Isogenics didn't pay him. They didn't buy him into the company. They didn't give him a special position.
That's right.
I should tell him something.
Yeah, it's why I recommended the tools at the beginning of the 90 days to buy the CD by Michael Klaus, because when you're talking to a networker, that's a great CD to give away because he has a tremendous credibility in the industry.
Yeah. Well, great. So let's see if we can move to another question.
And by the way, the video experience Isogenics had Michael Klaus. People that have been in network marketing, as soon as they see him there, say, "Wow, is he in Isogenics?" Yep.
Yeah, and by the way, George, it's you are an example of a networker that was approached by another networker to get into Isogenics. Jimmy Smith talked to you for several months.
Yeah, 10 months. Networkers usually are not going to make a decision right away. It can take as long as a year or 2 years. As a matter of fact, the reentry, the first reentry that Jimmy Smith maxed out was with a guy that he followed up for 3 years. The reentry that he started, the last reentry, he was a guy that followed up for 5 years. It's why he's the number one, because he followed what the basics of network marketing. He connect with people, he present, and he follow up consistently. And that's one of the secrets too, because that's the same story with Michael Klaus. Michael Klaus was approached by Warren Lance years ago, and he didn't even know him. He just went to a seminar where he happened to be teaching. He was one of the speakers, and he talked to him 7 years ago about Isogenics. Michael Klaus didn't give him even the time of the day, but Warren, he went to a few of his seminars. Eventually, he got to know him, and one day, and this was last year, Warren said, "Well, I want to invite you to visit the headquarters," and then he went to Isogenics. He fell in love and he joined. Almost 7 years, guys. That's a secret. Some people say, "Whoa, that takes too long." Well, where are you going to be in 7 years? Think about that. Of course, in most cases, it doesn't take 7 years. It took me 10 months to join. In the case of Jimmy Smith.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes. It might be much shorter, but you never know. But definitely, one thing I just wanted to quickly move to the next question, And this question reads, how do you keep track of all your contacts? Also, do you suggest a good way to organize the list of names? What do you use, George, for your list of names?
Well, I have my phone, plus I have some forms that for those of you that are in the 90 days, I uploaded on the. I think we have those forms on the BDP team too.
Yes,
on the
we
90
do.
days link. Yeah, we have the links for keeping track, not only keeping track of your actions every day. And if you listen to the recording this morning, I was talking about the action, but also we have a form to keep track of the people that you are talking to. You can even qualify the people by points. To see which ones are the most important prospects. And for those of you that didn't watch the webinar last week, we talked about that form, and then you can download it and you can use it. You can use, by the way, your telephone too, your iPhone, or you can use just cards. One of my really top distributors, she still used cards. The famous little index cards, 3 by 5, I think they are. She still uses those, and it still works.
Yeah, there's so many different ways of following up. As a matter of fact, some of you might even want to take advantage of the myisogenics.com, which has a fantastic way of following up as well. So there's lots of different ways. The important thing is to actually follow up. And, that saying that the fortune is in the follow-up, it definitely is, because you can contact as many people as you want, you can present to as many people as you want, but if you contact and present and do not follow up, nothing's going to happen. Okay, so Tracy, do you want to add anything to that? To how to keep track of your contacts? How do you do on that? I think we lost Tracy here.
Well, let's go to the next one then.
Okay, hold on just 1 second.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, good.
Sorry. No, what I was going to say, I still think, as far as doing the business is concerned, I love Alex's system, part of it, and I think it's one of the best ways to build a business. And it's not about how you keep your list, it's how you go through your list. And I think at the beginning of every week, if you start Sunday night, you make a list to take 10 people off of your list and make sure you get a hold of those 10 people and get them on a presentation before the next Sunday rolls around. You're going to be super successful. And I'll just keep repeating that forever. That's the biggest drawback to this business, is just the action. People need to take the action if they want to make a successful business. And it's really simple to do that. Alex calls it the Monday morning money-making system.
Yeah, it's the M&M routine, which is Monday morning money-making system. And it is on it is on the How to Get Going site. And all you have to do is enter M&M into the search area, and it will take you right there.
But the whole secret is just the consistency. It's every single week doing the same thing. And you know what? You don't really care if the people say yes or if the people say no, because the more you ask, it's like Jim Rohn says, if you talk to 2 or 10, you'll get 2 or 1. And usually when a ratio starts, it continues. And so first you talk to 10, you get 1. You talk to 10, you get 1. You talk to 10, all of a sudden you get 2. Now your ratio's getting better because you're getting better at what you do. But if you consistently do that, do the numbers. You figure if you can get to 3 out of 10, showing them our presentations over a year period, you're going to have a really huge business, especially if you teach your people to do the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah, and actually, in response to how do I keep this besides besides working with with my computer, my iPhone, and so on, I recommend everybody start with one of the memory joggers that we have at the How to Get Going list, because it gives you some reminders of people and just start filling that out. It's like you don't have to do 200 names at once. You could, but you can do it 10 at a time, 20 at a time, one at a time. As time goes by, you can continue to fill it out. And then one fantastic tool is that Crystal Executive sheet. And it's your goal sheet where it allows you to achieve the goals, which right now are in that work with our incentives, with our promotions, and you actually rank advancements. Your first goal is to become a consultant, and that's when you get into profit mode, into money making mode. Then you want to become a star consultant, and then you want to become an executive, and you start with your name here, and you start putting the names of the people that are going to make you a consultant first, help them get to consultant, and then continue putting names of people that you will help to get to consultants in order to advance through the ranks. So those two forms are very important. And of course, one of the things that I definitely do, I prepare that list that Tracy was mentioning of the 10 people that I will connect with and present and follow up during the next week. And it's a very simple form. All it has is a name, phone, email, and then it allows me to put a date where I contacted them, what comments I have, and then a date of follow-up. It's extremely simple, but it definitely works. And let's see here, guys, just wanted to remind you to just we're going to be closing pretty soon, so any other questions you want to get in here. I do have a question here where it's not business related. It's what I mentioned before about going from a size 46 to 34 in pant size, how I lost 110 pounds. And the short answer is I basically use the products every single day. I do a 30-day every all the time. Wednesdays is my cleanse day. I actually don't even do 2-day cleanses. I do just a moderate cleanse every Wednesday, and it has worked quite well for me. Lose on average from a pound to a pound and a half. I'm about 20 some pounds from my goal, and it will get me there. So that's an off topic here from the business, but it's if you have somebody that's actually in that position that they need to lose some weight, that they need to talk to somebody that actually was able to do it, feel free to contact me through the howtogetgoing.com site. There's my contact information there, and I'll be glad to talk to them. Another question out here, and this one I'll refer to George, and if you could suggest a good accountant in the Utah area, George or Tracy might be able to tell you in private later on who they're using.
Okay.
And let's see, one more question. Okay, actually, somebody's asking to see about the forms that I mentioned before. Let me just show you how to get there. And as always, when one is on the How to Get Going site, from any page, there's this little search area at the top, and I call it the M&M routine. If you just enter M&M routine or just MM routine, just search, and it will take you, you'll see it, it's the second post that shows up. Just click on that, and it will show you what my Monday morning routine is, which I do with people that I'm working with. And it just gives you links to the forms that I just showed you, and shows what I do basically to present, to connect, present, and follow up with the people. So it's very simple, and all it really is to simply get in touch with your team and help them, achieve their goals. Next question. Well, okay. If there are any good tools to control doubt, George.
Tools to control doubt.
Doubt. Yeah, and
doubting.
Yeah, and actually, let me just mention one thing:
Yes.
how I controlled my doubt, because I'm probably one of the most skeptic people there is here. And when I first heard about network marketing and so on, for those of you who don't know me, I'm an architect, I'm a numbers guy. I know that it is impossible to have this, what many times you hear, that you get two people who bring in two people, that's 4, then it goes to 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 10, 24, and so on. I knew that was absolutely impossible, okay? And I was proud to prove everybody wrong. Meanwhile, Jimmy Smith, the butcher, he believed in those numbers. And, guess what? I was right. He was wrong. He never achieved the numbers that he looked at. But guess what? So far, he's made over 20 million. Okay, and the way that I control doubt is I look at all the successful people that are in Isogenics. I can see, how many of them have achieved. I used to go all the time to some of the conference calls that we had archived and so on. And, I look, one tool that totally helps me out a lot is found at isagenixearnings.com, and it's our income disclosure. When you look at the numbers in there, there should be no doubt whatsoever that this is possible, and it's not possible just for a few people. It's possible for quite a few people. As a matter of fact, I think we are up to 75 millionaires already in Isogenics. And it looks like this year and next year we'll be breaking many, many more. So that's one way that I used to control a doubt. Now I don't have to control it, because I'm living proof that this works, both from the product standpoint and from the business standpoint. And I don't have, as a matter of fact, I probably am in the bottom 10% of presenting skills of all of those that are attending this webinar. So, George, I don't know if you want to add something to the doubt.
I want to add, first, doubt come from the inside, and it's a programming that it's not your programming. You didn't create that. Somebody else repeat that to you to create so much doubt since we were little kids. And the way to fight that doubt, we have some exercises like the repetition and doing the declarations and affirmation, but also, like Alex is saying, is to focus on the success story. Because I tell you one thing, you are no less than anybody that has made $1 million or more. You are no less than anybody. You have the same potential or more than many people that are millionaires. It's why what we have to recognize is that we are not going to be get programmed by somebody else that we don't even remember when we were kids telling us certain things that are creating our own programming. When we were very little, we didn't have any limitations. We learned how to walk, and because we were falling, that we didn't say as a kid, hey, gosh, I'm never going to walk anymore because I fall so many times. Sorry, I'm quitting. We never say that. But then as soon as we start thinking, when we start being more conscious and we start reasoning, we start assuming that when we have something that we can't do, or when somebody tells us something that we can't do, we assume that that's true. That's not our programming. The good news, like I said in one of the recordings, is that in the early 1900s, William James said one of the best discoveries that we have is that we can change our attitude. We can change our way of thinking. The results that you have today have to do with something that you did yesterday. But the cool thing that the past does not represent the future. Whatever you change today is going to be your new future because you can change it. Years ago, I was washing dishes in a restaurant. And if somebody had told me that I was going to earn $4.6 million in network marketing, I would say that was crazy. Because the first time that I saw somebody saying that I was making a lot of money in network marketing, and by the way, it was a check for $20,000 bonus, was not even monthly, and I said that was garbage, that was not true. I didn't believe it. But you see, I changed, and when I changed, my first 18 months, I didn't make a penny in network marketing. Then suddenly I started changing. I changed my belief because I recognized that the person that was saying that was not me. It was a programming that was set up there by somebody else. And it was time for me to take control of my subconscious and my mind. And that's what I'm saying to you. You can do whatever you want. You can reach whatever goals. And the most important is to put that belief in what you see in the results, like Alex was saying. When Jimmy told me that I could earn $1 million in less than 3 years, I had a hard time believing him. But I remember saying, because I respect Jimmy a lot, I said, Jimmy, if you are saying it, I believe you. And it happened. It happened. And I'm saying that to you and to anybody that's on this call. All you guys have the same potential. The same potential. We just have to believe it. And when we believe it, actions start happening. We start doing the right actions. We are not going to have the limitation finding people that, if we find people that complain about money, we pass. We just find for those people that are willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. And that's the way to destroy doubt. Every time I destroy doubt, I fight that doubt because I know that it's not my programming. That was not created by me, by somebody else. And I don't allow anybody to program what I can or what I can't do. And that's basically what I'm telling you. And I could sound very passionate, but I'm so passionate about this topic because I noticed how many of us have been limited just because somebody else, with good intentions, by the way. It's not like I am blaming somebody or somebody else or some appearance make us believe that we couldn't reach certain goals. We can reach whatever we want. We have the potential. We have the abilities. All of us came from the same place. All of us, and I don't know how you call it, but all of us came from God. All of us had that same power and the same potential to become the best that we can be. And just think about that. And I really believe it. I really believe it, and nobody can tell me that I'm wrong on this one. I may be wrong in other things, but not in this one.
Well, you certainly sound very, very convincing, George. And I do want to add one thing. You mentioned that your first 18 months in network marketing didn't make much money or any money at all. Those of you who know Big Al, Tom Schreider, his first 18 months, he didn't sponsor anyone. And he ended up having an organization with, I believe, correct me, George, but it was one of the largest organizations in network marketing. Over 100,000, 400,000 people actually at that were
over a million.
Yeah, over a million. Well, so see,
he has over 1 million people. Big Al is a friend of mine, and it's funny when I talk to him about stories because I got so much connected because one of the books that I read when I started doing my change from no belief to belief was a book by Big Al, and I was connecting so much with him because I was thinking I'm not making any money. Although I have to say I make more money than Big Al because
boy, we lost George. Well, actually, let me do an audio check here and see.
Welcome to GoToWebinar web event. To enable audio controls, please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash.
doubt it's going to happen. And I tell you, it's normal. For those of you that think there's normal, that you came from probably something crazy with you, no, it is totally normal because it happened to me many times. And it's still, even at the place that I am now, still I have doubts many times. But I just fight them because I know those doubts didn't come from me. Because we have an incredible potential. We have unlimited potential. We can create things that we cannot even imagine right now. But anyway, well, I keep talking.
Yeah, and actually it was good that you kept talking, because actually my connection fell, went dead. So
Oh,
okay, now one quick thing that I did want to add, which now makes me feel pretty good, knowing that you didn't make much money at all in your first 18 months. I remember the first company that I actually started earning an income. After 6 months, I remember my check was this company paid monthly, and my check for the month was $82. And my wife Marlena, she looked at me and said, are you crazy? You're continuing to do this, and after 6 months all you're doing is just making $82. Said, well, you don't understand. This, everything I have read now points to that next month I'm going to be doing, probably $100 some and so on, and it will grow exponentially. And it actually started growing. And from that first company, we basically were able to accelerate paying the mortgage on our home. And that was the one thing that convinced me that network marketing was it. I just had to find the right company and the right sponsor. And I was blessed enough to find George as my sponsor, and of course to be in the company that we all know is absolutely the very best, which is Isogenics. Good. We have let's see, one time for let's just cut this off at one more question. And it's one of my favorite questions, because it's well, let me read it to you. It's, do you recommend leading with the product or the opportunity?
okay. Okay, I'm going to use that. I actually combine the two of them, but it's mostly toward the business. It's the lifestyle. It's why we have that question. If time and money were not a problem and you have all the energy to enjoy it, what would you do? Where would you go? Who would you help? And the reason is because if you just lead with the product, then you are going to look to them like you are selling products. You are going to look like another seller. We are professional network marketers, and I know some of you are probably thinking, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And as a professional network marketing, we are looking for people that want to change their lifestyle, to improve their lifestyle. And that's why, and the lifestyle is to help them to reach their goals. Zig Ziglar said many years ago, the way to reach your goals is by helping others want to reach their goals. And that's what we are going to do. That doesn't mean if somebody comes to you and says, gee, I would like to lose some weight, you're going to say, no, let me tell you first about the lifestyle. No, you talk about the system, but at the same time you say, by the way, it's money and time, the same thing, the same question. And but that's something that is so important. I don't like, and I know some people may not agree with me, but I don't like when people say, I have cleansers. Oh, I have another cleanser that asked me this question. I have a cleanser. You are labeling people as a cleanser. You don't have cleansers. You have people that want to change their life. There are people that want to improve their life. I'm not going to tell a person, hey, you are a cleanser. But I see that all over the places and different boards and Isogenics. As soon as you say yourself that you have cleansers, that's what you're getting. As soon as you say that you are a cleansing coach, that's what you are getting. You are what you think. You are what, as a man thinking in his heart, so he is. And think about that. We are professional networkers.
Absolutely. Every single one of us, and especially those of you that are on the call today, you are taking time out of, you could be doing a lot of other things, and you are here doing exactly one of the actions that will get you to where you want to go. So, Tracy, do you want to add something, or?
Tracy, I think he muted himself
Yeah.
because I think
Well,
he's still there.
good. So then let's just wrap it up. And guys, thank you for all your questions. Sorry for those that were unanswered. I'll try to get back to you via email on
Yeah,
those.
you can email me too if you have any questions, and make sure because I will answer those questions, or Alex will answer those questions, or any of us. Thank you.
Okay. Well then. Good evening, everyone, and just want to remind you that next Monday it's going to be extremely important. There's going to be a fantastic announcement, and we will have a webinar geared towards that new announcement in the evening, as usual, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you, everyone, and thanks, George. Thanks, Tracy, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, see you later, guys.
Good night.